Hello everyone, welcome back again to another live section. So guys, if you know you're doing something at the moment, please just keep it aside and come and listen to what I have to tell you guys. Now, David Umahi betrays Nnamdi Kanu again. This is the second time he's doing it. He has urged Igbos to vote for Tinubu while Kanu is still in detention. Hey! Now, wow, David Umahi is nothing but what? A betrayal, a traitor. This man told people to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu while his brother Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. Like I always say, in this platform, I don't mind words at all. I say the facts and the truth. So this is what I have to show you guys. Let me just show you guys what David Umahi said. This man has betrayed Nnamdi Kanu again. This is the second time he's betraying him. See what he said. He said, Minister of Works Umahi urged Southeast to support President Bola Tinubu's re-election for future what Igbo presidency. This is the second time David Umahi is betraying Nnamdi Kanu and he's urging Igbos to vote for Tinubu while Kanu, his own brother, is still in detention. Now, I told you guys, in fact, I told him, I warned him right on this very channel. I said, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the constitutional power to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is written clearly in section 175 of the Nigerian Constitution, the prerogative of mercy. But he has refused. Instead, they keep playing games with Igbo lives, Igbo emotions, and Igbo loyalty. And today, they have returned again with another word, deception. Let me show you everything. You guys saw it, right? You guys saw what the Minister of Works, Umahi, said. He said, Minister of Works, Umahi, urged Southeast to support President Bola Tinubu's re-election for future what? Igbo presidency. Now, let's start with the facts. Section 175 of the Federal Republic of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria grants the president the power to pardon, commute, or what remit sentence. That's called a prerogative of mercy. Now, Section 175, Chapter 1 of the 1999 Constitution, the president may grant any person concerned with or convicted of any offense a pardon, either free or subjected to a lawful condition. So tell me, what is stopping Bola Ahmed Tinubu from freeing Nnamdi Kanu? Is it law? No. Is it the court? No. The court have ordered his release multiple times. Multiple times the court has said this man is not, this man is innocent, you guys should release him. Multiple times, not one, not two. But what is happening? They are not releasing. This is what we call political what? Wickedness. Now, you guys have seen what David Umahi said. Instead of him to be supporting or even be talking about the release of his brother, he's saying that they should support Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027 for future what? Igbo presidency. You can imagine saying, so if we don't vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu now, no Igbo man can become the president in future. Is that what David Umahi is telling us? David Umahi is nothing but what? A betrayer and what? A traitor. Now today, Umahi, the Minister of Works, comes out again with a familiar message: support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu re-election so Igbos can have a future chance at the presidency. They're telling us to re-elect a man who has disobeyed every court ruling, ignored our cries, and continues to keep our brother in legal detention just so we can maybe have a presidency someday in the future. Is that what you're telling us? Is that what you're telling us, David Umahi? That we should vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu again? Someone who has ignored court ruling, in fact, ignored people's cry, and you want us to vote for him, and you're not even considering the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is in continuous detention. Just because you feel that one day, or maybe one day, the Igbos will have a presidency someday in the future if we vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's not leadership. That's what emotional blackmail. That is emotional blackmail. Now let's take a step back and look at the pattern. This is not the first time they have used Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name to manipulate the Igbos. This is not the first time. Promise in 2019, promises were made, but none were fulfilled. In 2023, Sefumia tried to use Kanu's name to beg for votes in the East. Now they have completely erased his name and replaced it with empty future promises. They want the Southeast to forget Kanu, forget the injustice, forget the suffering, just vote and wait for crumbles later. That's what they want, but it's not going to work. Now, Section 175 is not ambiguous. It doesn't need Supreme Court interpretation. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu truly wanted peace, unity, and national healing, he would have freed Nnamdi Kanu on his first day in office. That is the thing he would have even done first. Section 175 1A, unconditional what? Pardon. Section 175 1B, commutation of sentence. Section 175 1C, suspension of punishment. Yet, after over a year in office, he has refused to use any of these sections in the constitution. That silence is a choice, that disobedience is about an agenda. Now, let's read exactly what David Umahi said in proper context, so that you guys can see how they crafted this statement to look innocent, but they're actually what they're actually calculated what manipulations. Now, the Minister of Works has urged the people of the Southeast to support President Tinubu's re-election bid in order to position themselves for a future presidency. No mention of Nnamdi Kanu, no mention of injustice, no mention of court order, just vote and hope. Hope for what? Hope that the same people who arrested your son will remember you later. Is that what they're saying we should hope for? To the youth of the Southeast, this is time to open your eyes. If you ever believe they cared, now you know the truth. They want your vote. It's only your vote they want, not your freedom, not your justice, just your silence and your loyalty. That is what they want. Now, we will never be deceived. We know our rights. We know our history, and we know the power of our vote. We know where we're coming from. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you still have the key. You still hold the power. The constitution gave you that authority. The question is, will you use it for peace or continue with this tyranny? And to David Umahi and every other political figure who thinks the Southeast can be played, know this: we are awake now, and the era of political deception is over. It's over. We've already known that you are working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu because of this thing you told us now. It shows enough evidence that you are against the Igbos, and time will come when immediately if Nnamdi Kanu is released, all these things you'll be hearing from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu very soon. Now, one of the biggest lies Tefu Mai and David Omaya and their cronies kept pushing is this: Tinubu is not responsible for Kanu's detention. It was Buhari's administration. That's a lie built on silence and what cowardice. These are the facts. Tinubu inherited the presidency and the ongoing executive actions. Section 175 allows him to reverse injustice committed by past regions. He has access to DSS reports, court rulings, international pressure memos, and still refuses to act. You don't need to be the one who committed the crime to fix the crime. Tinubu can fix it. He chooses not to. This is not just politics, it's what psychological warfare and tactics they use. Gaslighting, these are tactics they are using. Gaslighting, they make Igbos feel guilty for demanding Kanu's freedom. Deflection, they shift attention from to 2027 elections instead of what justice. They use Igbo allies to betray the masses. Silencing, they censor Kanu's name from government's what decision. They want you to forget, but every generation that forgets its political prisoners becomes what prisoner of the next region. Let's remind you, this isn't just about emotions. It's legal, it's documented, it's what's constitutional. Now, the court orders that have been ignored. Court of Appeal ruling in 2022, Kanu's arrest was illegal and ordered was his release, but it was ignored. Federal High Court judgment, Kanu's human rights were violated. UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention of immediate was release, but it was ignored. Which president in a democracy ignores local courts and international rulings but still wants your vote? Which? Do you know why they keep him locked away? Because they fear his influence and not his crime. This is the reason why they fear Kanu. He exposed northern hegemony. He organized a mass consciousness movement. He refused to bow to political money or compromise. They fear what Kanu represents: a free-thinking Igbo nation that no longer dances to Aso Rock drums. Now, let's talk about the Vudomaye. Not as a man, but as a symbol of every elite politician sent to manipulate his people. This is David Umahi's agenda: protect his appointment in Tinubu's cabinet, secure political favor for 2027, keep Igbos tied to empty promises of future presidency. Now, that is just his agenda. David Umahi is a very wicked man. His agenda now is just to protect his appointment in Tinubu's cabinet. That is all. To protect his position, to secure political favor for 2027, and keep Igbos tied to empty promises of future presidency. That is what he wants. He was silent when Kanu was kidnapped, silent when our village were militarized, but now he finds his voice to ask us to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. David Umahi, Igbo presidency is no more important than Igbo justice. If you can't speak for Kanu, you can't speak for us. If you can't speak for Kanu, you can't speak for us at all. This is not just my voice. The streets are boiling, the markets are angry, and the youth are what's mobilizing. We don't want presidency, we want justice. Release Kanu before asking for our vote. We won't forget who betrayed us. We will not forget the fact that they would Umahi for betrayed, we will never forget in a history. The people are not blind and they are watching every statement from David Umahi and every silence from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is the moment to choose not between parties but between deception and dignity. Why the Igbos must do? These are the things that the Igbo must do. Demand Kanu's release before engaging with any 2027 agenda. Expose all political pawns pretending to speak for the East. Continue civil education to awaken what's more mind. Support legal actions and international pressure for Kanu's case. Resist media silence. Keep his name alive. They want you to move on. They want you to forget, but we say never again. As long as Nnamdi Kanu remains in detention, no politician should dare campaign in the X asking for votes, not without answering this question: where is our brother and why is he still in chains? Yes, David Umahi is nothing but what a traitor. I don't even understand why this man is so obsessed, with in securing his own cabinet. I don't know why. David Umahi is a very dangerous middleman. He's a dangerous man. Now let's walk through the betrayal, not emotional but chronologically, so we never forget the sequence of lies. Now, October 22, Court of Appeal rules Kanu's detention is illegal. The federal government appeals and stalls. May 17th May 23, Tinubu is sworn in silence on Kanu. June 23, 17 June 23, sorry, July 17th, June 17, 23, Umahi gets appointed but says nothing about Kanu. October 2023 to July 2025. Over 7 court adjournments, DSS refuses access. Tinubu ignores plea. Every date is a dagger. Every silence is what? Complicity. David Umahi is not just a politician, he's a middleman, a translator of lives to make them sound like hope. That's one thing you guys need to understand. This David Umahi is a middleman who is working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he will not try and come and try to his plan is to try to make life to look sweet in the mouth. But we already know that he's one of their men. He's someone that if you give him money, he can do and undo. He will come and tell you, oh, this David Umahi will come and twist words for you. Look at, there was a time he came out and told us that we should stop blaming Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the cause of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being in detention, and people were surprised because they really know that it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration that held Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and people were surprised. And he came out to say that it was not Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You see the way he's supporting evil. Now, Umahi is not just a politician; he's a middleman, a translator of lies to make them sound like hope. This is what David Umahi does: sanitize Tinubu's agenda in the southeast, uses Igbo proverb and emotion to cover what betrayal, blocks real dialogue between Aso Rock and the East. That is what he does. He's not here to serve the Igbos, and he's here to sell Tinubu silence as wisdom, and we must want to reject it. Let's connect the dots. Why are major federal roads in the East abandoned? Why is insecurity rising in Igbo land? Why budget allocations are slashed? Example, Port Harcourt Enugu Expressway has been abandoned halfway. Enugu Onitsha Road funded, never even completed. NNPC offices barely functional in the southeast. Custom harassment at Eastern Port. They silence the southeast economically while asking us to vote politically for them. Why is Kanu's name so dangerous to them? Because it reminds them of everything they fear: exposure, resistance, and truth. Why they don't mention his name? International watchdogs are monitoring his case. His continued detention invalidates what Nigeria democracy. Monitoring him reactivates the Igbo political base. So what do? They erase him from speeches, from documents, from strategy, but we won't let them. No, we won't. We won't let them at all. Now, we are calling on the Igbo diaspora in the US, in the UK, Canada, and Germany, South Africa, everywhere. What diasporas can do: push for sanctions on officials who disobey court orders, write to embassies and human rights organizations, use their platform to keep Kanu's case in global consciousness. If the whole front is gauged, the world must speak. We won't allow silence to be Nigeria's export. No, we won't at all. We will not allow we can't allow silence to be what Nigerians export. Now, from 1967 till now, the Igbo have resisted through wars, ideas, music, protests, and now digital media. Example, in 1967, Biafra stood alone for 3 years. In 1999 to 2015, marginalized from what political power, yet remained economic what dominant. They remained what economic dominant. Now 2015 to 2025, despite propaganda, Igbos still led calls for restructuring. Kanu is not the start of resistance. He is the latest symbol of a 60-year fire that hasn't been put out. Now, what do we need to do? Now, no Igbo vote for anyone silent on what Kanu's release. So the thing we need to do now is that there will not be any Igbo vote for anyone who is silent on Kanu's release. Demand constitutional compliance from every campaigner. Mobilize youth digital and what locally. Boycott all governments backed Igbo town halls lies. Speak Kanu's name in every protest, every prayer, and every words press release. No voice will go unheard this time. We are reclaiming the narrative. Now, to Tinubu, release him. To David Umahi, stop using us. To the Igbos, we need to rise again. And to the world, we need to watch closely to see how all these things is going to turn and the plan of the president and David Umahi. Now, the battle for Kanu's freedom is the battle of our future. We are not begging anyone anymore. We are demanding. And this time, we will not be what deceived. David Umahi is just coming to deceive us. That's what he's trying to do. He is what coming to deceive us, but we're not going to give in to his tricks, because we found out that this man is an agenda. He's a middleman working for the people in power, and it's very, very bad that an Igbo man is seen associating with this kind of thing. Instead of him to be supporting his own brother, he doesn't even talk about Nnamdi Kanu. He only talks about himself. Now they quote the constitution when it benefits them, but reject it when it what favors the people. DSS follows presidential orders but disobeys what court ruling. Like, this is crazy. DSS used to follow presidential order, but they disobey what court rulings. Presidency invokes national unity to block sensationalism, but allows Fulani bandits to negotiate. The same constitution they used to swear in presidents is ignored when it comes to Kanu. You can't rule a country with half of the law. If Kanu's rights don't matter, then nobody's right does. Yes, if you can't rule a country with half of the law, if Kanu's rights don't matter, then nobody's rights matters. Where are the Igbo senators? Where are the House of Rep members? Where are the state governors? Many of them avoid Kanu's name word publicly. They fear being marked as enemies of the state, but political ambition was above justice. Now they collect positions in Abuja but keep their conscience in exile. Where is the United Nations? The United Nations, the African Union, Assembly, and Amnesty International must have issued weak statements, avoided calling out Tinubu's administrative directly, moved on since the 2021 kidnapping and extraordinary redemption. If Kanu were from Ukraine or a journalist in the West, there will be sanctions by now. But because he's Igbo, he's black and anti-establishment, he's left to rot in DSS custody. Have you noticed that major Nigerian TV stations have gone quiet on Kanu? Now, these are my observations. Channels TV, NTA, AIT, Arise, avoid the topic or even water it down when it comes to talking about Nnamdi Kanu. Now, they focus more on 27 politics than on war or human rights. They label IPOP news as a terrorism, even when it was even peaceful. A media that fears power becomes a megaphone for life. Yes, a media that is fearing power, they will become a megaphone for life. Tinubu has never said one full sentence about Kanu's illegal detention, not one. Despite human rights violation, international embarrassment, court judgments, mass protests, his silence is not ignorance, it's intent. His approval, he benefits from Kanu's silence. The real reason they won't release him isn't legal, it's strategic. Why they fear Kanu's release? He would awaken the sleep Igbo political class. He would expose what he saw in the DSS, and he would disrupt 27 political world calculations. So that's the reason why you see they're still keeping him there, because they know that he's going to disrupt, he's going to expose so many things. So his voice is dangerous because he speaks without fear. Now, when it's Boko Haram or bandit, they offer what dialogue. When it's Niger Delta militant, they offer amnesty. But for Nnamdi Kanu, only bullets and cell. These are the proof. Boko Haram commanders have been rehabilitated by states. Bandits are giving interviews on TV. Fulani headsmen get state backing. Only the Igbo voice of resistance, is criminalized. when Igbos do something, they say, oh, they're terrorists, oh, they're doing that. Even when it's a peaceful protest, to they'll say that that they're terrorists. Imagine, you cannot preach one Nigeria while jailing the consequences of the East. You can't. Now, the effects of this detention deepens distrust between regions, radicalize the youth, fuels sensationalist sentiment, kills hope in what democracy. National unity is not built with padlock and prison chains. Let me ask the hard question: what happens if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu dies in custody? The consequences of all this thing is national protest and possible what unrest, international human rights backlash. Tinubu's presidency loses moral legitimacy forever. It will become a scar on Nigeria's history, one it can never heal from. Yes, one it can never heal from. Even if they remove his name from every speech, even if they shout every court, even if they buy off every politician, we will not forget Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's a symbol, he's a sacrifice, he's a spark that can never what pull out. And we will say his name until justice speaks louder than politics. Yes, until justice speaks louder than politics. Because we found out that David Umahi is nothing but what a traitor. This man is a big traitor. This one is a betrayer, a big one, a betrayal. This is the same David Umahi that we are saying, oh, he's an Igbo man. This man is not even an Igbo man. I doubt if he's an Igbo man. Because tell me why an Igbo man will be used by the federal government to be carrying out some of their evil taxes. Tell me. Now, let's go on. No true nation abandons its prisoner of conscience. No tribe survives when it forgets its captive. History reminder: every liberation movement had a prisoner. Mandela, Kenserowiwa, now Nnamdi Kanu. If we forget Kanu, we abandon our what collective soul. Igbo land is marginalized, but other regions are respected. Why is the Southeast always in the most militarized zone in Nigeria? Examples: armored tanks in Imo, in Abia and Anambra, military checkpoints every 3 kilometers, shoot on sight orders issued in Igbo land during elections. When your region is treated like a war zone, you're not in a democracy, you're under what siege. What they're really after is not your vote, it's your submission. They want to break the Igbo period, silence the Igbo pain, kill the Igbo was resistant. That is why they push one Nigeria, but they treat Igbos like strangers. They arrest Kanu but dialogue with others. This is a spiritual warfare disguised as what politics. When people are hungry, they are easy to deceive, and the federal structure knows this. No federal jobs for Igbos. Sports and industries in the southeast are underfunded. Youth pushed into desperation was survivor. That's why they always come with bags of rice and 5,000 during elections, not justice. They dangle Igbo presidency in our faces like a bribe. Now, this is the truth. Without justice, presidency means nothing. Without dignity, sitting in Aso Rock is just for decoration. A slave wearing a crown is still a slave. Let them keep their fake presidency. We want what freedom. They think Kanu is just one man. They don't know he's million. Mazen Kanu is a million man. This is the reason why I say so. His words sparked awakening. His arrest bettered unity. His silence has become louder than their speech. They say kill the man if you want. You cannot kill his idea. Yes, if you want to kill a man on the card, you can. But you see his idea, you can never kill it because people, the whole world has actually known that this man is an innocent man. So no matter what they try to do, because like I'm telling you guys, the Nigerian governments have tried all their possible best, to silence him, but they cannot. So they are even trying to see how they're going to use David Domaya, to carry out the attack. So it will be like, oh, so let's just really vote for him. Maybe let's know if he's going to, release Nnamdi Kanu. Nothing like that will ever happen. The Maya is just trying to use our brains, but we'll never be deceived. So guys, just like I always tell you guys, please, in this channel, we normally use this channel to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and also to tell the federal government that he's an innocent man. So please do well to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, and justice delayed is not what justice denied. So guys, what about the mothers, the wives, the sisters of those abducted in the name of security? This is the truth. Women in Anambra, Imo, Abia are grieving quietly. Many families can't retrieve bodies. DSS denies access to detainees. Every silent Igbo woman is a ticking time bomb of truth. Now, yes, let's be honest. Some of the betrayal is from our own people. Example: paid elders who endorse Tinubu despite what injustice. Igbo senators who collect silence money. Media houses run by Igbos that bury Kanu story. The biggest evil is not from outsiders, but insiders who sell their soul. Our children are watching. What legacy are we leaving behind? If we stay silent, they will grow up thinking injustice is normal. If we stay quiet about this injustice doing to Nnamdi Kanu, our children will grow up and they will think that injustice is a normal thing. They will believe truth is punished and silence is well rewarded. They will forget who Kanu is, and if they forget, we will fail them. This is our defining moment as a people. Two options: speak out, resist, demand freedom, and write history with our own hands. Stay silent, play along, vote, and let others write our obituary. The Southeast must rise again, not with war, but with voice, unity, strategy, and truth. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released. The fact that they want to silence it, they cannot still silence his words. We've heard his words. So, anything they're trying to do, to silence this man is not going to work. So, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and David Umahi are just playing. They are just playing, because we can never be deceived by their words. I've seen countless times whereby Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There was a time that Prince Emmanuel, the brother of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, came out and told them that Tinubu came out and promised them that if during the 2023 election, that if the 2023 election goes well without any form of disruption, that they are going to release Nnamdi Kanu, and they agreed. They had to comply with what Tinubu, that the son of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said. They complied with it, and guess what? Even after the indigenous people of Biafra stayed low and stayed quiet on that 2023 election, still Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was never released. But this was the promise that the president and his son made to them. You can see it. So you can never trust the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can never trust him. In Nigeria, if you speak truth to power, they will jail you. If you expose corruption, they brand you a threat. And if you love your people too loudly, they try to bury you. What happened to Showore? He was arrested. Now Sunday Igboha was haunted. Now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was tortured and locked up. This is not about law, it's about fear of fearless men. Yes, we no longer have an independent judiciary. We have a judiciary that waits for presidential signals. What we've seen: court orders for Kanu's release ignored, judges give endless adjournments to buy time, legal delays used as a weapon. When courts free the president more than when courts fear the president more than they fear God, justice dies. The same system that enslaved our ancestors now enslaves our thoughts. Modern colonialism: foreign power benefits from chaos in Nigeria. Oil flows but justice is blocked. Western silence is equals to quiet approval of oppression. Kanu's fight is not just Igbo, it's anti-colonial. Why Nnamdi Kanu suffers, what are the most youths doing? This is the reality. What our youths have been doing is they have been following Big Brother Naija, worshipping politicians, engaging in tribal wars on Twitter, right? A distracted generation cannot birth a revolution. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Why Nnamdi Kanu suffers? What are our youths doing? They are there following Big Brother Naija, watching Big Brother Naija, worshipping politicians, engaging in tribal wars on Twitter. You see them, when it comes to tribal wars, you see them, they'll be running their mouth, running their own, but they cannot come out. I know, and say and all those things that are saying on Twitter, running their mouth on social media, they cannot come out and say it in public. I keep saying this generation is a distracted generation that cannot bet a revolution. The way things are going, all they care is what they on social media. Their own voice, their own talking is on social media. We need to wake up now, whether you like it or not. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a spiritual voice of the East. This is the truth. His words ignited truth in dead conscience. His arrest sent spiritual shockwave through Nigeria. The more they silence him, the more his spirit was multiplied. When you jail a prophetic voice, you invoke consequences beyond politics. That's one thing people don't know. They want your vote, they don't want your voice. How they operate: they encourage Igbos to be nationalists but never allow them to live. They promote tokenism while blocking real influence. They want us in the system but never on top. That's what they want. They will never want to see an Igbo man on top, but they want us in the system. Every attempt to unify Nigeria will fail until justice is done. This is the truth. You can't arrest a people's voice and accept peace. You cannot silence a region and accept unity. Release Kanu now or accept that the foundation of this union is cracked. Now, how they treat Nnamdi Kanu, now will decide how we vote in 2027. These are the questions. Will we forget again? We will vote for change. We will endorse our oppressors. 2027 starts with Kanu's freedom or it ends in betrayal again. If he could speak freely today, what would he say? what was he going to say? Now, these are the likely message. Don't let my sacrifice to be in vain. Rise above fear and tribal division. Demand truth from the liars and what stay united. His silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Now, this is more than content, it's what resistance. This is more than a video, this is what a warning. This is a warning, and this is more than a man, it's a movement. So, guys, please don't forget that we use this platform to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, also to make sure that the federal government know that this man is innocent and he needs to be released. So, please, guys, I want you to do well by typing in the comment section "Free Nnamdi Kanu" and also "Justice delayed is not what justice denied." Please do well to type it in the comment section, because we're actually using this platform to agitate for his release and to tell the whole world that this man needs to be released. He's innocent. Now, the plan was to lock him up, lock his ideas away, but ideas are fire and you cannot chain fire. Reality, Kanu's message has spread even faster since his arrest. Millions now quote his speeches. His detention has become a global case study in injustice. What they meant for evil has become his platform. Where are the pastors, the bishop, the general overseers? This is the truth. Nigerian religious leaders condemned NSAD but are silent on Kanu. They fear losing donations or government favors. Many are building empires while the people suffer. If the church cannot speak for the oppressed, it is just another branch of Aso Rock. You don't need a gun, you need a phone. Your post is a bullet. Your share is a grenade. Your truth is a nuclear bomb to propaganda. Now we need to keep trending. We need to keep typing in the comment section "Free Nnamdi Kanu" globally so that people will know. Yes, we need to keep typing in "Free Nnamdi Kanu." Now, mark their names. Those who say nothing those who say nothing now will say too much later when it's late. Now, future elections will expose fake allies. Eastern politicians who betrayed Kanu will be remembered. History has a long memory and betrayers never escape it. I promise David Umahi that all these things he's saying, he will never escape history. Yes, all these people who betrayed Nnamdi Kanu, they will never escape, because history is always there. If you can't defend your own in crisis, you don't deserve their vote in confidence, in comfort. This is not just about Igbos. The entire South is facing coordinated war suppression. Yoruba voices like Igboha were attacked. Niger Delta voices like Asari are divided and manipulated. Middle Belt is silenced economically. Now, divide and conquer is their oldest tool. Unity must be our oldest weapon. Not all Northerners support this tyranny. Many are now realizing they have been used to. Now, these are the facts. Northern youth unemployment is worse than ever. Boko Haram is still terrorizing despite billions spent. The allies divide Nigerians while they still together. Kanu's voice was never against the North. It was against the corrupt North, the fake Nigeria. Kanu hasn't spoken in public for over 2 years, but his silence is doing what thousands of speeches could not. Result of his silence is mobilization of global awareness, unmasking of fake supporters, total collapse of excuses from the Nigerian state. You see, silence is powerful when it comes from a man who once shook the world with words. They want you to forget, but our memory is our weapon. How to remember? Tell Kanu stories to your kids. Write, post, vlog about it, and say his name in prayers and public, online and offline. When the people remember, they become ungovernable words by lies. Now, a child into you're watching history. This is not entertainment, this is resistance, this is what documentation. A child, these are the legacy. A child in 2030 will watch this and ask, why did they jail him? Because definitely they are going to ask. Our future generational children are going to ask in 2030, why did they jail Nnamdi Kanu? Because they would want to know. Let your children know you we are part of the resistance and what, not the betrayer. Every view is rebellion. Every comment is what legacy. Now, to the DSS, you can hold his body but not his soul. To Tinubu, you can postpone justice but not escape it. To the Igbos, you have no excuse left. To the world, history will record what you did during this injustice. And to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wherever you are, we hear your silence, we see your pain, and we are not going to stop until you walk freely. So, guys, please do well to type in the comment section "Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu," and also "Justice delayed is not justice denied." Just like I always tell you guys, this is a platform where we agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his freedom. So please do well to type in the comment section so that people, the federal government will know that this man is innocent, as well as other people in the world will know that this man is very innocent and he needs to be released. Now, they're not just detaining Kanu, they are mentally attacking an entire region. Their psychological tools are humiliation of Igbo identity, gaslighting the public with propaganda, creating hopelessness through the endless delay. The goal is to make you feel powerless, Now, don't fall for it. They think about freedom but are silent when real freedom is denied. Now, musicians who once criticized Buhari now praise Tinubu. Actors who shout "EndSARS" now ignore scandals for illegal detention. Influencers care more about brands than truth. Your platform is not just for dance video, it's for the truth. Yes, all this your platform is not just for dance video. No, it is for the main truth. That's why I use this my platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu and also to say the truth. In this channel, I don't mind sword. I say exactly the way it is. Now, many think it doesn't concern me, but when the system finishes with Kanu, you are next. Many will say, "Oh, it doesn't. It's not my problem. It's Kanu. It's not me." Once, if you think it doesn't concern, but when the system finishes with Kanu, you are the next person. If they can treat Kanu like this, then who are you? You as an ordinary civilian, they will even deal with you. So you see the reason why I like saying the truth in this my channel, and I use this my channel to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, you don't know who is going to be next. Many people are saying, "Oh, I don't care if it is yeah, I don't care. It's not Martin Nnamdi Kanu that are holding. It's not me." You've forgotten that you may be the next person. So we need to put an end to all this injustice. Today night is today night is Martin Nnamdi Kanu. Today, tomorrow is IPOP, tomorrow is journalist, then use activist, then anyone who speaks the truth. The chain is being built around you, link by link. Now, students remember it was your generation he was fighting for. These are the realities. You graduate with no job, you live in fear of the police, you can't speak your mind without being tagged threat. If you ignore Kanu's case, you're surrounding your future. Yes, you're surrounding your future if you would ignore Kanu's case. Even women once learned the Aba Women's Riot, where they are daughters now. These are their inspiration. In 1929, women resisted colonial oppression. In 2025, they must resist with federal oppression. Let our markets, homes, and churches echo one cry, release our son. What will you be remembered for? Silence in comfort or voice in truth? Titles mean nothing if you can't defend your children. A cowardly elder is worse than a corrupt youth. If you stood for Biafra in the past, stand again. This is the second time. What does green and white mean when the courts are ignored and prisons are full of the innocent? So what is the essence of the green, white, green, the flag? What's the essence of that Nigerian flag that they're hanging there? When court orders are being ignored and prisons are full of innocent people that are not supposed to be there. Now this is just the reality. Nigerian justice system is bleeding. The constitution is no longer supreme and the flag now flies over our broken homes. No true patriot accepts injustice in silence. Now, President Tinubu, if you die in power today, how will history write your name? How? What history? These are the things that history may even record. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't correct it now, if he doesn't correct all these things he's doing now, if he dies in power, what is it? What like how will history write his name about? Now, what these are the things that history may even record at this particular moment, or to maybe if Bola Ahmed Tinubu change. Disobedience to court orders, refusal to apply Section 175 prerogative of mercy, playing deaf to the crisis of injustice. Even Abacha is remembered, so will you. So you need to choose wisely. You claim to stand for human rights, so where are your voices now? Hypocrisy. You speak loudly when it's Ukraine or Gaza. When Ukraine and Gaza are fighting, you come out and be speaking loudly. But you whisper when it's Nigeria. When it comes to Nigeria, you stay quiet and so silent about what is going on. You hated Kanu's adoption in Kenya and you said nothing. Human rights are not selective. Speak out or admit you've chosen sides. We are not just content creators. We are people's last voice. If you don't speak now, Kanu stays buried. If you don't rise now, the next generation is lost. Now, I want you guys, to please, share this video. Yeah, share this live session so that people, would listen to what is happening. The way we found, this is, I think, David Umahi is not even the only betrayer in the southeast, in the southeast leaders. There are many of them who are working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, there's so many of them. They will come out in public. They will say, "Oh, we want them to release Nnamdi Kanu," but in the private, are saying, "Don't release him, don't release him." This is totally bad. Now, they kidnapped Kanu in Kenya. That alone is a breach of what international law. Under international law, extraordinary detention is illegal. Kanu was not extradited. He was abducted. The Nigerian state violated Kenya's sovereignty and human rights treaties. If a country can break the law abroad and still silence justice at home, that country is a criminal war syndicate. Some of the men who fought against Biafra now confess it was built on deception. These were the facts. Gowon's actions in 1967 still haunts Nigeria. Britain's involvement in the war is now a public record. Documents reveal plans to keep the Igbo down economically, politically, and socially. If the world knew what Nigeria did to the East, they would call it when it was genocide. Now, from house town to London, from Germany to South Africa, the Igbo diaspora is watching and they are no longer silent. Now, this is how they are moving, organizing global protests, filing petitions at the ICC, funding legal and awareness campaigns. When Nigeria kills justice at home, the world must light the fire abroad. So, Mandela was called a terrorist, so was Nnamdi Kanu. They both spoke uncomfortable truth that they both went to jail, and this is what they share. Unpopular among elites, loved by their people, misunderstood until the world listened. You don't have to agree with Kanu, but history will put him beside other freedom fighters. Resistance is not about bullets, it's about refusal. Refusal to forget, refusal to be manipulated, refusal to be silenced. Resistance look like withholding your vote from lies, calling out sell point politicians, turning churches, markets, and schools into awareness center. Don't raise your children to survive in slavery, raise them to, to resist it. Now tell the presidency, tell David Umaya, tell the North, there is no 2027 election without justice for Nnamdi Kanu, whether they like it or not. And this is the warning. Boycotts will increase, protests will escalate. No peace without justice. We are begging for elections. We are demanding what? We're not begging for elections. We are not begging for elections at all. We are demanding what? Accountability. Now, why do they fear Nnamdi Kanu is so much? Because he did what politicians could not. Unite the Igbos, united youth and elders, Christians and traditionalists, home and world diaspora. United Igbo is the nightmare of the Nigerian world elite. Now, the longer they hold Kanu, the more the government loses what credibility. And this is the truth. Court delays is equals to what? Guilt admission. Silence is equals to weakness. Overreach equals to fear. Justice delayed for Kanu is justice denied, for Nigeria. The children that were killed in 1967 to 70, the women who were raped, the elders who were served have not been buried in the truth. This is the reality. No normal, no national apology, no reparations, no healing. Kanu's voice is not just for now, it's the echo of the millions Nigeria refuses to acknowledge. Kanu is a mirror. When Nigeria looks at him, it sees its guilt, its betrayal, and its corruption. That's why they keep him hidden. Now Kanu reflects the lies of the elite, the silence of the church, and the coward of the South. But truth cannot be jailed. Mirrors cannot be broken, and justice cannot be delayed forever. That is just it. That's one thing people don't know. The fact that you guys are trying everything possible, you want to make sure that they bring Martin and the carry. No, if you do you already know your type. So just go back and tell Bola Tinubu that the Igbos did not agree with what you said. We're not going to vote. We will not vote until they release what Martin and the Kalu. It is not hate, it is fear. They want can represent a people who have found their voice. They fear a people who cannot be bribed, youths who have stopped dancing for crumbles, an elite group that refuses to play second fiddle anymore. They fear the awakening, not the man. Now, Chinese TV, AIT, Arise, Vanguard, why did you go silent? This is the question we're supposed to be asking. Why did they go silent? Example, court updates hidden, Kanu's international lawyers ignored, protests underreported. When media chooses comfort over coverage, it becomes part of the problem. This isn't just about the living. What about the dead? What about the martyrs? Remember, protests gone down in Anaba. In Aba, youth disappeared in Imo and Anambra. IPOP members slaughtered during Operation Python Dance. Their blood is not for negotiation, it's for redemption. Now, don't just be angry, be smart. Don't just protest. Understand the system. Learn the constitution, especially section 35, 36, and 175. Understand the Electoral Act. Mobilize your wards and local government. Ignorance is their weapon. Awareness is your shield. They always come with emotion, vote for unity, forgive and move on. But justice is not emotional. They play sentiment to win Igbo support. They ignore cultural lanes. They only remember you during election. No emotions, no shares, no only results. Kanu must be free. You wear crowns but cannot speak for your people. Then your crown is empty. Anybody who is wearing crown and cannot speak for his people, then that means your crown is empty. Many atheists and Igbos are silent or compromised. Some appeal to counter IPOP narrative, others hide behind what neutrality. There's no neutrality in operation. Pick a side, the people are watching. They say, let us remain united, but united for what? Operation or progress. The truth is, unity must be built on justice. One Nigeria without fairness is a glorified prison. You cannot bond a people by bloodshed and blackmail. Unity is not by force. Justice is the only glue that holds nation. If you're not IPOP, even if you don't agree with Kanu, this still concerns you because today is Kanu, tomorrow is you. You don't need to support secession to support what justice. The constitution protects all, not just the quiet ones. Don't let labels blind you to injustice. This is not just a YouTube video, it's a historical word declaration. This is the purpose. It's a documentary of resistance, a file for the international court, a message to the next world generation. One day your children will ask, did you speak? This is your answer. So you can remain in silence, in fake peace, and pretend all is well, or you can raise, speak, and choose truth, even if it comes. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision that justice is worth more than safety. That is it. So please, good guys, please do wait to type in the comment section. Free Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, and justice today is not what justice. Now, just like I always told you guys, we use this platform to to agitate for the release of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, and also to tell the Nigerian government and the federal government that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is an innocent man. So he needs to what to be released. They need to do something about his release. So guys, let's really go on. You guys have seen what is going on. They're not promising us justice, they're trading it for votes. Vote for Tinubu now and you may get Igbo president in 2035. That's the latest blackmail ever. This is not negotiation, it's what extortion. No region was promised presidency for voting Buhari. When must Igbos end it with their silence? Why? Court says release him, Nigeria says detain him. That is tyranny. Example, Sambo Duaski was granted bail over 6 times, still held. Zaki's court order ignored for years. Now it's Kanu time. A democracy where court elders are disobeyed is just a dictatorship with what? Election. Now, what kind of leaders keep quiet when their people bleed? These are the possible reasons. Fear of EFCC and blackmail files, political ambitions tied to the north, personal deals cut in secret. They don't speak for the Igbo, they speak for their pockets. They hire you to defend their enemies on Facebook and Twitter while they sell you out on Abuja. This is warning. Don't attack Soludo, Kanu, Obi, or anyone for crumbles. Ask your paymasters what they have done for your region. Now, UK, US, and EU, you know Kanu was illegally abducted. You said nothing. I'm going to expose this. UK High Commission in Nairobi was informed and watched silently. UN Human Rights Council gave recommendation which was ignored. Now, US Embassy plays neutrality. Your silence is loud and history will remember. For those wishing him death, understand this. Kanu is the last voice that still believes in dialogue. Now, these are the risks. If dialogue dies, chaos begins. If Kanu is eliminated, extremist elements will rise. If justice fails, violence answers. So only peace built on fairness will last. From Arochukwu warriors to the Aba women's route, Biafra to IPO, we've always stood. Now, these are the historical ties. 1929, Igbo women fought colonial tax. Igbo nation stood for self-determination. Igbo youth stood alone in ENSAC election. Resistance is not rebellion, it's what survivor. You can't silence truth, even chains can't gag what consciousness. So observations. His silence makes more headlines than political words, speeches. Yes, his name triggers fear in those who wronged him. His ideology is now beyond one man. Kanu is not a symbol. Symbols don't will die. They say Igbos complain too much. No, we demand equal world treatment. These are the demands: equal infrastructure, equal security protection, equal political world representation. What the North demands loudly, the Igbo are punished for whispering. This video doesn't end with Nnamdi Kanu story, it begins with yours. Now, we need to mobilize, educate others, refuse to be used, demand justice not just for Kanu but for the entire Southeast. Kanu's struggle is a mirror. What will your reflection be? So this is the question. What will your reflection be? So a big shame to David Umahi and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Their plan will never work. Yes, because we have wised up. All our Igbo youth have wised up. We all know this is a strategy in order for them to come and win the 2027 election, because they know that the Southeast, they want the Southeast, to also join their vote so that they can be able to. But it's not going to work because we've actually understood what you guys are doing. Now, where are the professors? Where are the think tanks? Why are they intellectually silent? Many Igbo academies are afraid of losing federal appointments. Some say neutral to protect their funding or visas. But silence in the face of injustice is cowardness. The mind of a people must speak when the heart is bleeding. Channels I won't tell you, AIT won't show you, Punch won't even print it. Media owners are friends of the cabal. Some journalists are gauged by fear or bribes. IPOB is labeled as terrorists to delegitimize the cause. But the streets, YouTube, and WhatsApp are now the real world press. They made him your enemy to cover their crimes. Reminder: Kanu did not loot Nigerians' oil. Kanu did not embezzle the Southeast structure front. Kanu did not rig elections or kill NSAS youth. The one who exposes the evil is not the civilian. Is not the civilian. It's not the villain. He's the whistle word blower. Now support us now, and we'll make an Igbo president in 2021 sound familiar. You know what Bola Ahmed, what David Umahi said, it sounds funny. Imagine saying that the Igbo should come and vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027, and he's going to assure them that an Igbo man is going to have a chance, to become the president of Nigeria. Now, have you forgotten that same promises made in 2011, 2015, 2019, 2023, they used the promise to split what Igbo vote, then throw the Igbo leaders away like what expired what tools. They want your votes and not your voice. That's one thing you should understand. So he says support Tinubu for road, but what road has he built? Where is the federal road to Enugu that doesn't collapse every rainy season? Why is the second Niger bridge still lacking major access road? Why are Igbo contracts, ignored in major federal projects? You can't beg with promise, bring what results. Not every Igbo voice is the people. Some are for crumbs. Example, they push false narratives about Kanu. They attack IPOP and obedience just to gain Abuja access. They cry one Nigeria while the community staff. Don't follow a man just because he looks like you. No, don't. Anyway, guys, please, I want you, to actually watch this video, and please don't forget to drop your comment below. Type in the comment section, free mass Nnamdi Kanu, and justice delayed is not what justice denied. So watch what Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer have to say about Nnamdi Kanu's detention, and I'll be right back. Please don't forget to drop your comments below.
The reason Nnamdi Kanu have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu, because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate, but they said the way he was going about it, like and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
what of the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one Oba of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something, then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe. So you are now saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, he wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So, apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
The chief of
are you sure Max, are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold on this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that there's
the chief of Naval Staff is from the Southeast?
Huh?
The chief of Naval Staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position. We have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular governance is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly. that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Hanele and you are now brought in Yanko Juku, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kanu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted, that they said from, I think they said next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal courts? Federal courts, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the people the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal or the judicial division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And we are not even thinking about all this, and the judges are not even thinking about So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we are not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. You don't even know what they're talking about. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. They're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. I don't know, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held,
yes,
that is why, the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying?
Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or adopted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, he said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I asked you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, he will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu, and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is, because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition given Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I say, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I will be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk, you will not move out, you say, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I'll cut one of your hands, say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right. And if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need people, crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary, the necessary, need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person. Start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazirike was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazirike that time. Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa is there. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
Right.
So for you, it's not about ministerial appointment.
No. That one.
Okay,
is a complete distraction. That one should even come in. Okay. After coming in now, let Bianca come and address the Igbos in Enugu.
All right.
So, guys, you guys have listened to what the lawyer said, right? Now, you guys have known the kind of person David Umahi is. David Umahi is a betrayal to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is the second time he's betraying Nnamdi Kanu again, saying that we should come and vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu so that we will know if the Igbos can have presidency in the future. This is totally bad. He's a big betrayal and a big shame to the Igbos. Anyway, guys, please don't forget to drop your comment below, and also don't forget to please type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, and also justice delay is not what justice denied, because we use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and also to tell the federal government that this man is innocent. So, guys, please type in the comment section free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and also don't forget that he will be coming to court on the 10th October 2025, and I'll be giving you guys latest updates concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, I'm giving you guys latest updates concerning his court case and everything about him. So, guys, thanks for watching, and see you guys again in my next live.